Last season was our first ever attempt growing garlic and onions. We were living in our rental property with limited garden space and really poor soil. Our chickens constantly scratched up our onion sets, and I replanted and regrew onions over and over again. I was thrilled with our first garlic harvest. We grew around 60 garlic bulbs. We learned how to store them, make some garlic fermented in honey, and learned what works and what doesn't. We're about to plant out our biggest crop yet and plan on tripling our numbers in the ground with a hope that we can store them and use them over the next year. This is the first big move towards being more self-sufficient as a family of 5, trying to live off our own garden and reduce how much we buy from the supermarket. Come. We are getting ready to plant our garlic out, and we have a helper. Aren't you helping? Helping, not helping? I'm just preparing beds. I'm not sure what was planted in here last year. It was empty when we came here. It had a lot of pea straw over the top and probably had some, there was a cover crop in here of peas as well, I think, in here. I'm not sure. Anyway, the soil looks pretty good, and there's lots of worms, but we also have had some raspberries because there was a massive raspberry vine over this side that we pulled out yesterday and the day before, and some of the raspberries are popping up in through, which is probably going to be an ongoing battle. So I'm just raking out the bed. These garden beds are pretty cool because they're 2-tier. So there's a really skinny little border that I'm not sure what I'm going to plant. Maybe some flowers around the borders here. I would have loved to have been able to plant some garlic or onions, but they're too narrow. They're not quite wide enough, I don't think, for if you wanted to grow large onions. Or my colossus garlic that I'm going to be planting their bulbs are like fist size, if not bigger. What have you got? So I'm not sure how many I want to plant out. Some of these smaller ones too. I want lots still. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colossus and 3 of my smaller ones. And maybe I'll plant some snow peas. I might make a trellis for them to go up on the south side of that patch. We'll see. Thank you. Leave it. Nice. Don't know that you should eat garlic, buddy. I found this perfectly sized piece of Rio that is going to be perfect for my snow peas to climb up, I think. And put it on the south side so it's not blocking any light. And I don't know, I might even plant them down on this lower level and trellis them up from there, maybe? No, actually, I don't think they'll get enough light down below. I'll plant them up here on the front side and trellis them up here. And then my little hoary knife. Maybe don't eat that. Hey, buddy? Are you going to try and dig when I dig here? Probably. Let's make a little, what does it say? We're sowing these from Eden Seeds. Space 10 to 20 centimetres, a depth of 1.5 to 2 centimetres. Sweet. My little hori knife. It's got some depth measurements on it. Let's see if we can stop this dog from digging when I'm digging. 10 to 20. I reckon it's probably, I'll plant one on each of these little squares. You are going to be very annoying. Not for you. There was 2 and 4 in there. Nope. Watch out. Oot. Nope. Out. You're helping, not helping, aren't you, beautiful girl? She got stung by a bee the other night and her whole face blew up. She came out in hives. It's a little bit scary. But we now know that you can give dogs human antihistamines, just dosage to their weight. Yeah, been good to know and good to have some on hand. Oopsie daisies. I might have to put you out while I do the garlic. These all need to be used by January next year, so maybe I'll just plant all of them. You can never have too many snow peas. And I can always freeze them. What do you call that? Oh my goodness. She is going to be a little bit of a menace in the garden. What have you got, Win? I had a self-seeded cousin it plant and I pulled it out and I just chucked it on top of a pot and she's just grabbed it off. She's living her best life. Be interesting. Oh, the mozzies. Ah, it's crazy how bad the mozzies have been this autumn. All this rain and there's just water lying around everywhere. Oh my God, they're eating me. They found me and they're eating me. So I grabbed some pieces of, one's a bamboo and one is a stake. And I'm just gonna mark out my garlic rows just so I know where I've planted them or where I'm going to plant them, so we can make sure we've got enough space in between them at the moment. So I think we're going to start like that, and then we're going to go with the Colossus first and plant those in. I'm not peeling them, so I'm just dividing up. I'll just divide up the cloves into individual to see how large they are. They're so good. And then I'm going to plant them. That is the question. I think you go pointy side up, flat side down. Definitely pointy side up. Where did I put my knife? Going crazy, getting bitten by mozzies. Maybe that's the problem. It's invisible to me. It's right there. Oh my God. Oh, goodness me. All right. No, thank you. Not today. Probably should have spent some time taking them out. Also, when you're unwrapping your garlic and choosing which ones to plant, it's always good to do the big ones rather than the little ones. So you want to be planting out the big fat ones, and maybe just leaving those little inside ones. You probably could plant them, that probably will work, but obviously the big cloves are going to have more energy in them than the littler ones. The hori is so good because it's got a curved blade, so when you open up the earth, one side is a little bit more concave than the other. I'm going to plant some of these little ones, see how they go. They're pretty big still, really. Yes, hello. we're done. I think we planted around maybe 80 cloves. Oh my goodness, child. Off. Oh, or just climb on me, no worries. We planted about 6 of the colossus and 4 of the other little ones. Oh my gosh, can you tell? I think this is what all pointers do. They like to climb on top of things. I probably should not let you do that. But this is how we roll. Hey Winnie, is that a good spot? I planted out some snow peas as well down the back, and actually snuck some in down the side here as well. I was thinking about going along the front, but I think that is north, and if I plant something here, it's going to block the sun behind them, which I don't want, given that we're coming into winter and it's going to be, the sun's going to be a little bit further north than in the summer, where it would be sort of more directly overhead. So you are scratching my legs, my love. Next is planting some onion seeds out. I'm going to try a different method this year. I'm going to do the snail, I don't know if that's the technical term, but the snail method, where we kind of roll up a potting mix covered piece of cloth or plastic and roll that up and seed in that. And so, yeah, you can unroll it and it's much easier to plant and separate than if you were to do like a mass planting in a punnet or in a little pot. So I'm going to have a go of that. Last year I did trays and it wasn't great. I think the root depth is a really important thing for onions, is to be able to let them have really long root growth. So you can have those sets ready to go to be planted out, and just making that a lot easier. So we'll just see how we go. I'll show you what I'm about to do. Now I have to move. What are we going to do, Winnie? You're going to hop up? There's a good spot there. Oh, you're so adorable. We just sit here in the sun for a bit. There's ants everywhere and spiders and creepy crawlies. Don't know that I want to stay here. We have upset their little homes. Can be adorable. We're off to plant some onion in the garden. I've got 3 different types of onions that I'm going to plant out today. So maybe I'll do a little experiment. I've got the onion Australian brown, which is an heirloom variety. I've got onion red marksman and onion cream gold as well. So I think that's a really good storage onion as well. Suitable for cooler climates. Get bitten by mozzies. Very hot today. Given that it's late March, I'm very keen to get some plants in the garden while the soil is nice and warm still. So I'm also going to plant out some Chinese cabbage, pak choi. I'm going to plant some hollyhocks and flowers also in my front garden, and some ranunculus seeds, as well as some broccoli from the Seed Collective and some homegrown dwarf green beans as well. So we'll see how we go. We'll see how much we get in. My priority is getting those onions in sown as well. So let's see how we go. Good spot there. I think I'm going to pick one of my garden beds that I'm just going to make into our brassica, essentially, garden bed. So this one has actually, it had some succulents in it when we moved in, and I've just raked it all up. It does have the inspection pit for our septic tank, which it shouldn't be a problem. So I'm going to pop in the Chinese cabbage, some broccoli, and see how we go with the green beans. I don't know if there's enough space in here for green beans as well. I might sneak them in along the back here, along the bottom row of this garden bed here. We'll see. This morning I was planting out the garlic and I may have chopped down, that's a bay tree that is now on the ground here. I tried to pull its roots out and broke the fork on that. It has suckers going everywhere and it just there was too much shade, and it's a waste of a veggie patch to have such a huge tree. So I'm just going to dry all of the leaves that, not all of them obviously. I rarely use bay leaves, mostly if I'm making like a stew, which isn't often. So I'm willing to sacrifice a bay tree for a whole garden bed that was taking up. It was taking up that entire garden bed there. So bye bay tree. I think I'm going to do mounds, rows north to south. Yes. I'm just going to do broccoli in this garden bed, to be honest, because I would like to freeze a lot of broccoli. All right, 5 rows north to south. That should help with the sun exposure. All right, I think I'm going to be generous in my seeding. We'll do these and then the Chinese cabbage, the Eden seeds pak choy. We'll see how we go. Don't know if I'll have enough seeds, but we'll see. I'll have to thin them out, obviously. Tried to grow these last year in some pots and they didn't cabbage up at all. I don't know what my expectations were. I was thinking maybe wombok looking. So anyway, let's see what these ones turn out like. I'll just sow a cover crop in here next year, given that they're brassicas. So I don't have a little potting shed set up just yet. So we're just going to sit here on the grass in the sun. And you're not going to get into my onion seeds because I will cry if you rip those open. Oh my goodness, the joys of puppyhood. So I'm going to start my 3 different varieties in 2 different ways. The first way is going to sow them into pots. So these are 125 mil pots, 118, so 18 centimetres. So 125, 12 centimetres is good depth for root development. So fingers crossed we can get some seeds that germinate well. It'll be interesting to see how they germinate across these 2 different versions. And we can get some good sets so they're easy to separate and then plant out into the garden. This dog. Winnie is just loving life, aren't you? You little pot plant girl. Are you going to help? Maybe not. Helping, not helping? Australian brown first. There's 250 seeds, 260 seeds in this little paper. I don't love the paper. Diggers, I know we're like, you know, being good, but paper makes things really hard. I'm literally just going to dump a ton in here. I'm going to do a light little layer. I just like to be able to seal up my seed packets again because I don't often want to sow 260 seeds in one go. Brown, cream, and then red, just like your last can see that. To work with. That's better. All right, so I'm actually going to use bubble wrap. We've just moved house and we have drips of this need to be used, so that's what we're going to do. Winnie is helping, not helping. I'm hoping she'll just go and have a sleep in the sun shortly. I hope I got enough. We're going to place a thin layer. Very curious, aren't you? I'm going to try and push it to the upper end of the roll, down. It is not a straight roll. No, thank you. No, Winnie. So the idea is we lay a layer of dirt and then we're going to roll it up and then sprinkle into the top of the roll the seeds. So let's go. Tuck the bottom of mine in. Might work okay though. So it's going to look like that. And then I'm going to sprinkle the seeds in the top. Let's see how the easiest way to do this is. You'll need to hop out of the way, my love. Roll it up. We'll pretend that this is not plastic. Packing tape. We're going to pop the seeds in the top now. What are we going to go with? I've got my labels pre-ready to go. Would you even know it? Australian brown. Let's get this. Who even am I with my little label? Actually, if anyone has any great labeling pens, because this is a Sharpie Extreme and it still comes off when I put water on it after a while. All right, still got seeds. Some seeds left. I'm just going to sprinkle them in the top. We shall see how that goes. Just going to put it in wherever it goes. This will be interesting to see how they go. Come.